As a big RPG and D&D fan, I've always found the importance of the story in the games has a lot of factors, ranging from its combat system, world exploration, level and quest design, and the integration of the characters. Part of the charm of the world itself is the various locations that exist within it. Some locations in Final Fantasy X serve a lot of importance with many significant events that occur, while others are mere passerbys that the party crosses to get to a certain location. But as someone who likes to look into specifics, I think each location brings its own aesthetics and personality into the world that it's part of. And for many of us, it may seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but I like looking into the little details about the games and seeing how they contribute into the whole story. And I also like sharing them, which is why I make these videos to begin with. Alright, now that I've gotten that little monologue out of the way, one of the many locations that dot Spira's landscape, the Moonflow, is one of Spira's more unique locations, despite it not having a massive role in the grand story of Final Fantasy X, but I think it is still a location worth exploring. Even though not many major events happen in the Moonflow, I think the details that were mentioned about it, as well as its past, make it a very interesting location to explore. One of the main things about Spira's timeline was that it was a more advanced world in its past compared to its current state. The birth of sin prevented the general population from advancing civilization past a certain point because sin would simply appear and destroy said civilization. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's lore video, we will be going through the lore behind one of Spira's locations in Final Fantasy X that doesn't serve too much in terms of the grand story, but has some interesting details which I think is worth looking into. Also, I do want to make a little bit of an aside, but 2025 is a big year for myself as a Final Fantasy fan. The reason for this is the big collaboration between Magic the Gathering and Final Fantasy, and as someone who's a fan of both, having played card games throughout my gaming history, this is exciting news for me. If you're a fan of Magic the Gathering and Final Fantasy, let me know, and I am considering covering a special video in the channel where we take a look at the expansion and details about the collaboration. I got to look at a preview of some of the cards and they look fantastic, and some of the people involved in PAX East, where the event of the collaboration will happen, is quite the lineup, so I'm pretty excited myself. Anyway, back to our little corner of Final Fantasy YouTube, let's jump into the lore behind the Moonflow. The Moonflow is a river that separates the northern and southern half of Spira. The party passes through it on their way to Guadosalam after the events of the Jose Temple and obtaining Ixion. The only way past through the Moonflow is transport using the Shoepuff, an elephant-like creature capable of swimming and transporting groups of people. It is a strong animal, but not strong enough to support larger creatures such as chocobos. The Moonflow is also known for its high density of fireflies, which is likely due to the presence of moon lilies, plants that attract fireflies, making the water more sparkling at night, a popular tourist attraction. When we turn back the clock a little bit, we do get a tidbit of lore behind the past of the Moonflow. During a conversation amongst the party members, Titus sees an ancient Machina city submerged in the waters. It turns out the people of the past had attempted to build a city above water, but the sheer weight of the city made it incapable of support by the water itself. This could be a bit of a parallel with how Dream Zanarkand is designed, as it is pretty much built on top of water, but because it is a mere manifestation of the energy of the citizens of the original city and not an actual city built on top of the sea, the laws of physics are pretty much thrown out of the window. This shows how ambitious the people of ancient Spira were with the vast amounts of technology they possessed and the amounts of ruins that could be found throughout all of the cities in Spira reflecting on this. There likely would have been a disaster that occurred that was associated with the sinking of that fallen city. That is something that I would definitely like to know about, just to know how ambitious and how much the people of ancient Spira really wanted to test their abilities. These are the kinds of reasons why I want to explore more and wish we got a little bit more lore in the world of Spira itself, as it is a world riddled of mystery and wonder, and the idea that its past version was more advanced in history than its current state is very interesting to me. Apart from this, the Moonflow tends to serve as little more than a transport between the north and south parts of Spira, which is why we see a few merchants setting up shop there. Because the shoe puffs seem to be unique to the Moonflow, there are many people who go there simply to marvel at their sight and transport, as it is the case with animals who are a rare sight. Of course, in the case of Jet, he decided to strike one down when he was drunk, but they ended up paying for the damages, and this is where Jet learned never to drink again. Due to its wonder and spectacle geographically, it is a little surprised that by the events of Final Fantasy X-2, the Moonflow was mainly used as an entertainment center for Tobli. Due to Spira being more into the tourism industry throughout its locations, it's no surprise that the Moonflow was part of the list of locations that was used to increase the boom of this industry. While compared to the more significant locations in Spira, I have personally enjoyed learning more about the locations, and I am purposefully avoiding the bigger cities because they are a lot more significant, so this might be a shorter video compared to the others, but I hope you enjoy it all the same. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more Final Fantasy content, and comment on what other topics you'd like me to cover on this channel. Other than that, this is Enzo signing out, and that, as they say, is that.